Our next inductee is a friend. I've crossed paths with him many times. He does as many events as I do. And I want to thank Billy Costa because among all the things he does, he hosts a show on Channel 2, correct? For the kids? Well, the quiz show for high school. Thanks to that, I got my GED. So really appreciate it, Billy. Roll the tape. Billy Costa, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi, everybody, and welcome into TV Diner. I'm Billy Costa. We're taking you to Salem, New Hampshire on the show this week.
It's the only place I know of where you can get an elk burger in a donut.
Yes.
That's pretty cool right there.
This is Billy's traveling style.
Well, first of all, the satchel. It's Jack Spade.
I love it.
I never leave the house without Jack Spade.
Okay, so tell
By
us
the way,
about
it's
it.
a Christmas present from Matt Siegel.
You look great.
Thank you.
Tell everyone. Tell him. He looks great, right?
I can't hear you.
He does look great. And here to present the award is his partner in the mornings and another Hall of Famer, Matt Siegel.
If I knew they were going to show that video, I would have declined the opportunity to introduce Bill. Nevertheless, here I am. No joke. No joke. This is a real exciting time for me because I get to invite my best friend to join me in the Massachusetts Broadcasters Hall of Fame, Billy Costa. I think that for the committee, I'm guessing this was a no-brainer because they were kind enough to invite me to join some years ago, and I do like a third of what he does. He has 2 full-time jobs in broadcasting, one on radio and one on television. They're hard. I don't know how many people can do that. I couldn't do it. When 10 o'clock comes along and my radio show ends, I go home or the golf course. Billy goes to work. He goes to work with the beautiful Jenny Johnson on Dining Playbook. Billy told me to say, I'm sorry, Bill, I apologize. Emmy award-winning Dining Playbook. And that's an absolutely full-time job. And when he's on hiatus or the show is on hiatus and he has some time off, he does another full-time television show, high school quiz show. Also, I did it again. I'm sorry. The Emmy award-winning high school quiz show. He also does yet another radio show on the North Shore. He does a variety of public appearances, including Dancing with the Realtors, which might have been a misstep. But he never stops. He never stops. He does all kinds of galas. He does a tremendous amount of charity work. He works at night. He never stops working. And I just want to say to his 3 sons who are sitting at his table, who are all look like male models, which is just a little freaky. But your dad never stops working. And I just want to say to you 3 fellas, I think your father has a drug problem. I mean, realistically, how much money does your father need? Nevertheless, he's tireless worker. He's one of the most popular broadcasters in the city, and with good reason. And on a personal note, I couldn't do my radio show without him. I think it goes without saying. Anybody who's had a few spare moments to tune in would know that. And there's a thing that he does that is so amazing to me. I mean, I've been in broadcasting forever, like a lot of you folks here in the room. He does a newscast for me, and he also does an entertainment update, and he makes that shit up completely. I've never seen him look at a newspaper, pardon my language. I've never seen him look at a newspaper. He just comes in and he sits in front of the microphone and he makes stuff up. I mean, fascinating stuff. Like with that Kardashian girl, 20 years old. She's not really pregnant, is she? You made that up. I just was going to say a lot of stupid stuff, but he is my best friend, and when I went through some hard times, he was there for me. He's always there for me. I love him. Billy Costa.
Wow. Wow. Matt Siegel, everybody. I have to be honest with you, Matt, as you know, is already a member of the Broadcasters Hall of Fame. And in preparation for today's luncheon, Matt said, prepare yourself. You're going to be overwhelmed. And sure enough, I walked into the ballroom, actually the green room, and sure enough, I was overwhelmed. I cannot believe that I'm sharing a space in the hall and sharing a spot on stage today with the incredible honorees that are in this year's lineup. God, I walked into the ballroom, I saw Bob Lobel. I just got to sit next to Sean McDonough. I was watching him on Monday Night Football the other night. It's just amazing to me. You have to understand, I grew up a very poor kid in East Cambridge. I don't belong here at this podium. So I am so more than thrilled. I just want to say, years ago, I worked at Channel 4 on a handful of shows. Peter Brown was there at Channel 4 at the time. I got to watch and witness the incredible Dan Ray, when I tell you, still one of the most gifted broadcast journalists on the planet. And if I'm driving around in my car, Dan, at night, I'm listening to Nightside, and I'm not lying. And some night, I'm going to call in. Some night, I'm going to call in. And Dan, something else. You make me want to gain weight so that I can go on Awaken 180. I'm just saying, you look fabulous. And one other thing I really wanted to say, Jerry Remy, again, I grew up in East Cambridge. I've been a Red Sox fan my entire life, one of the original members of Red Sox Nation, and we are so lucky to have you, Jerry Remy. If you could stand up, Jerry, so everybody could give you the rightful round of applause. I can't even imagine. And now Jerry and I get to work together once in a while in the Red Sox broadcast booth, much to the dismay of Matt Siegel and other hardcore sports fans. But nevertheless, if I'm invited, I'm going in. And I've got to get this out, and I'll talk more about Jenny Johnson in a couple of minutes, but I can tell right now she's sitting there fuming because there was not a Dining Playbook clip in that video, and she's probably texting the Nesson people right now. But I want to welcome all the people from Nesson, and again, Jerry, it's a thrill to be able to occasionally work alongside you in the Red Sox broadcast. I want to start by honoring and acknowledging my own personal Hall of Fame, and that's my three sons, Chris, Alex, and Dylan. If you guys could stand up. I love getting awards. I love doing television. I love doing radio. But you guys are and always will be my biggest achievement in life. So thanks for coming in today for the luncheon, and I'm thrilled to see you guys. Now I got to talk about the morning show team, and I could get gushy here, but I don't know how, but one day in my life I was fortunate enough to land on the Maddie in the Morning Show. We had already, to some degree, become really good friends. I don't care what anybody said. This man is a genius. He's the absolute best there is in the business, hands down. And by the way, that's all due respect to any of the competition in the room. In fact, I'm sure most of you, if not all, would agree with me that Matt Siegel is the absolute king. I have learned so much working alongside you, sitting across from you. You have taught me how to be a broadcaster, a better broadcaster. You've taught me how to be a better friend, a better father, and all I can say, and I say this from the bottom of my heart, Matt Siegel, you gave me my life, and I thank you for it. And since we're talking about Matt and the morning show, I have to acknowledge the members of the team because it's such a magical group. Lisa Donovan is here. I get to sit alongside Lisa Donovan every day. She's one of the classiest, one of the most beautiful, one of the most fashionable people I know, and she and I have become dear friends. Lisa, stand up and take a bow. Let them know how cool you are. And I've got to say something else. Through Matt and through the show and through the business, I've also had the added value, the extra bonus of becoming best friends with his beautiful wife, Mary Ann, who I love dearly. And an interesting sidebar, Mary Ann and Lisa were very good friends, and somehow, and I don't mind, they think of me as a girlfriend. But thank you for that. And also here from the Maddie Show, Gandhi is a fairly new producer. I had to say it, but she is a rising star and a future superstar. So Gandhi, thank you so much for joining the Maddie Show. Justin is one of our new producers, not only for the Maddie Show, but for the Kiss Top 30 Countdown, and the kid who screens the calls on the Maddie in the Morning Show. And the extended Kiss family that was kind enough to show up to lunch here today, although I know most of them and I know they're here for the free meal. But Alan Chartrand, thank you for your leadership and your generosity. And by the way, thank you for breakfast this morning, if that was in fact you that sent the breakfast. And Dylan Sprague, one of the most gifted program directors in the country. I am so lucky and privileged to work under your leadership. Thank you so much. And Joe Mazzi, we're fellow Canterburyans. We both grew up in East Cambridge. And we both really started our careers in broadcast at KISS 108 many, many years ago. Thank you for being here and for being there, Joe. And then there's Ian. Thank you very much, Ian. We've got management here from KISS and from iHeartRadio and media. Ian, thank you for being here. And Tom McConnell flew in from somewhere. Now, Tom McConnell has such an important title and role with iHeartMedia, I can't even say it within 2 or 3 minutes. All I know is he flew in for the lunch today, and there was a small part of me that thought maybe he's here and he brought some sort of a bonus, a celebratory check. I haven't received it yet, but Tom, it's a thrill to see you here as well, and John. And you know what's very cool? A lot of the original KISS family is here, who were at KISS when I first started many, many years ago. John Madison and Matt Tilden, Kid David, who's now, of course, working with the competition. But thank you guys and Beth for everybody showing up here today. Now I want to talk about Jenny Johnson and Dining Playbook. By the way, that's Saturday mornings at 9, Sunday nights at 9 on Nessun. When Jenny first came to work with me, I thought, God, I'm going to teach her so much about the business. Well, as it turns out, Jenny, each and every day since she started, has done nothing but teach me about the business. She is a superstar. I wake up every morning praying that she's not going to call me on the phone and tell me the networks have picked her up and she's moving to New York or Chicago or Washington, D.C. But you're one of my best friends. You're like a sister. You're like a daughter. And you continue to teach me television each and every day. So thank you for being here. And I like to refer to her as my TV wife. And that's okay because her brand new fiance and husband-to-be, Rob, is sitting here in the ballroom, so I'm not going to get in trouble for it. One of the other magical things about this industry and what it's done in my life, I talked about some of the friendships. It's almost my entire social circle came from this industry. I've got so many friends here. I have to thank my friends from WGBH and High School Quiz Show, Hillary and Andy and company and everybody, Sydney, everybody. I can't appreciate it enough. Q9 is about to start taping. Just a funny story about High School Quiz Show. On the eve, and Hillary, I don't even know if you realize this, on the eve of my very first episode of High School Quiz Show, they said, Billy, they want you to go on Emily Rooney's show to promote Quiz Show. And I said, oh, I love Emily Rooney. She's a good friend. She's really big. I said, okay. So I go on the Emily Rooney show, and the very first thing Emily says to me, she says, Billy, I love you. We're good friends and everything, but listen. And this was on the air. She says, you need to know that you are not the obvious choice to host this show. I mean, this is, in fact, WGBH. And boy, was I the odd person walking the halls at WGBH. But here we are, sliding into season 9 of High School Quiz Show. So thank you guys for being here. And a lot of my friendships and relationships have spawned from this industry, and that includes some of my clients who are here today. And Matt, I'm going to mention them, and you knew this was coming. Alan Gibley, a dear friend of mine. By the way, that's Gibley's Fine Men's Clothing, Route 114 in Danvers. The new fall lineup has arrived, and that includes Canada Goose coats for him and for her. So Alan bought an entire table. Thank you, Gibley's family, for coming in. And at his table, another dear, dear set of friends of mine, the Salem Waterfront Hotel in Salem, Massachusetts, Mike and Trish Rocket. Dear friends, great clients, love the relationship, and thank you so much for being here. Thank you for allowing me to be in the industry, and again, congratulations to all the other honorees. Byron Barnett, you are amazing, and thank you, folks. We'll see you. Bye.